My name's Katy Jobbins and I'm the founder and the head trainer of the Permanent Makeup Training Academy. When I was 17, I was a nail technician. I joined forces with a local hairdresser and I was working about 3 or 4 days a week, which allowed me time to concentrate on my real passion, which was being an artist, painting pictures. By the time I'd been there 6 months, I was fully booked, but the only problem was I was giving away half my income to somebody else. So we decided to take on a larger premises around the corner where I could bring in other services and bring in other staff so they could help me out, where we could offer other services, beauty and hairdressing. Business was really good, but over the years as the spa grew and grew, I became utterly exhausted. I was working around 6 to 7 days a week, barely able to leave the desk, never able to take a holiday, and also I wasn't able to do my painting, which was the reason for setting up the salon in the first place. Running the salon was great at first, but then we got staff lateness, holidays and sickness, and I was literally never able to see my family. Money was good, but I realised this is definitely not what I'd set out to become. One day I was so busy I couldn't attend training with my staff, so I got our nail and beauty supplier to come to our salon and do the training there. She took one look at me and said, "Katy, you look absolutely exhausted." On the way out, as she said goodbye, she pointed at one of my paintings and said, "Love the painting. Have you ever thought about getting into permanent makeup?" She said, "I think you'd be really good. Here's my card and have a look into it." I finished work very late that night and went home and took a look at the training. I looked online. I saw the training was around £7,000 plus VAT, but it was claiming that I could make around £400 an hour, which certainly had my interest. A busy few days went by and I just could not stop thinking about training, wondering if I could really make all that money. My supplier called to see if I'd given it more thought, but I had decided I'm not going to do permanent makeup. So when she asked me why not, I didn't know where to start. I was absolutely exhausted anyway. I was terrified of going wrong. The cost of the training put me off £7,000 plus VAT. And I don't think I truly believed that I could make that much money. She seemed really disappointed with me and said it was a job that I was made for. She'd seen my artwork and she said I would be silly not to do it. She left the phone call by saying that I could make full-time wages just in part-time hours, which I completely ignored. I just went back to the daily grind of doing nails every day up till 10 o'clock at night, but each day her words were resonating with me. Then came the day that changed my life forever. I had one of my staff members call in with only 5 minutes notice. I was fully booked already, but I had to juggle my clients and her clients. Everybody was angry with me all day long. I managed to have 4 chocolates, 1 toilet break, and it was the most stressful day of my life. But on top of all the angry clients, my fingers were bleeding from the constant filing, my backside was completely numb, and I could hardly breathe through the nail dust. So then on top of that all, my most demanding client called up that day wanting a free nail fix, which would have taken me 20 minutes at the end of the day. Then I explained to her that I was really overworked and stayed 3.5 hours late. I was absolutely exhausted, juggling 2 sets of clients all day long. But as the salon owner, I really didn't want to let a client down. So Sunday was the next day. I decided to come in on my day off to fix her nail. The result, she absolutely screamed at me. She did not care that my staff hadn't turned up that day. She didn't care that I had twice the amount of work to juggle. Didn't care that I worked 3 hours late or that I'd had no lunch. She wanted her nail fixed there and then. She threw the phone down on me. That was the tipping point. I thought things could not get any worse. The good thing about losing that client was that I had the whole day off on Sunday, which gave me the time to think about whether I was going to train in permanent makeup. So that Sunday I sat down and I worked out all my finances, where I'm going to get the cash from. Saved some money, I borrowed some from a friend, I borrowed some from family, and I decided to change my life that day. I am going to do the training. First thing on Monday, called up 9 o'clock in the morning and booked myself on a course. The minute I put the phone down, the fear really kicked in. What if I don't get any clients? What if I ruin somebody's face? And have I overcommitted myself financially? I was counting down the days till training, and my main fear was, could I pick the skill up in 4 days? So on the first day of training, my first ever real life client walked in and my hands were shaking under the table. I was trying so desperately for her not to see how scared I was, and I also didn't want her knowing she was my first ever client. So I drew the brows on and showed her the mirror, and her response as she looked in the mirror seemed to take an absolute lifetime. Then she said, I absolutely love them, let's do it. So on went the anaesthetic. 20 minutes later I was actually tattooing her face, which felt weirdly natural. I really did not expect it to be so unscary. And then I showed her the mirror, and immediately tears of happiness were flooding down her face. She said, I am so happy, my face has never looked so good, and she could not believe that she was never ever going to have to pencil in her eyebrows again. So she gave me a hug and a kiss and a tip and left. My trainer looked at me and said, I told you you were meant for this. So I decided that day, this is going to be my future. The training flew by and I had a mix of nerves, excitement and absolute thrill when I realised how much I can change people's lives with this. Over the next 6 weeks I'd completed my training, all my case studies and my assessment, which had been approved by my trainer, and I was now ready to be doing full paying clients. I started my prices between £250 and £300 per treatment, and was in shock when clients would happily book in for it. Over the next 6 months, my skill and confidence had really grown, and so had my prices. I was making between £500 and £600 per treatment and booking lots and lots of clients in. Although I was making a lot more money, my spa business had spiralled out of control, and I was becoming so frustrated with my nail clients. I sat down and looked at the figures, and I realised I was working 45 hours a week doing nails and 7 hours a week doing permanent makeup, but permanent makeup was making me 5 times more money than nails. As the weeks went on, I started cutting back on all my nail clients, and I felt like they were literally hounding me. They could not believe the change that had taken place in me over such a short period of time. It was hard, but I had to wriggle myself free from doing nails, so I booked more and more holidays so that the staff would have to take over my clients. So then I could do exactly what I loved, which was permanent makeup. So over the next 5 years as a permanent makeup technician, my passion and hunger grew for making my clients look really, really good. So I learnt lots of new techniques. I trained all over the world, from London Harley Street to Thailand, Malaysia, Singapore. Did the best training in New York with some of the most famous technicians in the world, and just really honed my skill to get as good as I possibly could within the industry. Over the years, after all the training, I realised that one thing was missing from my techniques. A lot of my clients are older, age 50 plus, and they have white hair and grey hair. So it was quite difficult to get a really natural technique for these ladies. So I decided to start developing some of my own techniques. After trialling and testing my marbling technique with a lot of success on really happy clients, I decided to put a 4-minute video onto my website, which indirectly went onto YouTube, and it went viral with over 60,000 hits from permanent makeup technicians worldwide. The video was initially intended for my clients, but to my absolute surprise, hundreds and hundreds of technicians from all around the world started emailing me and asking me technical questions on how they could do their procedures and how they could improve what they were already doing. So the timing couldn't have been better. I'd freed myself up from doing nails, so I had all the time to be able to answer these questions that I was receiving from technicians all around the world on a daily basis. I noticed these technicians were asking me the same questions again and again, and these questions created the structure of my first book. After the success of the first book, I realised there was a huge demand for more information in the permanent makeup industry. I developed a whole series of educational materials, a series of technical books, business books, e-books, client reports and case studies, and procedural DVDs. From constant requests of technicians wanting to shadow me and wanting to retrain and learn the new techniques, I decided to close down the salon and form the Permanent Makeup Training Academy. After training hundreds of permanent makeup technicians, I know I can take anyone from any background, as long as they've got a willingness to learn and a desire to succeed, and turn them into one of the most in-demand permanent makeup technicians in their area. After doing over 10,000 procedures, I've been through almost everything a permanent makeup technician is going to go through. I like to keep all the training one-on-one, and I will literally hold your hand through every part of the training. At the Permanent Makeup Training Academy, we pride ourselves on the best possible aftercare. You go home with my personal number and you can call anytime before, during or after a procedure, so that you are never ever on your own. If you're interested in a new career as a permanent makeup technician, go straight to the website and put in your name and email address and instantly download the full course prospectus.